Hey, anyone who's watching now, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to get this to go on uh, StreamYard, and I don't know. Let's see. If anybody has experience with using OBS and StreamYard in the chat, I would greatly appreciate any help. Let's see. Yes, VHS Mikey, I'm not sure what's going on. This is my first time going live, and I was trying to do it on StreamYard, but it wasn't popping up. I'm trying to use OBS with it, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So, let's see. I'm trying to enter studio. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do this on StreamYard, but I'm not sure what I did wrong. So, let's see. Oh, thanks, Mikey. I appreciate that. So, let's see. I need to get my camera on here, but I don't know how. I'm afraid if I end broadcast, it's gonna end the live, and then I might have to start a new one. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try to exit and then come back in and see if that works. I don't know. Hey, Born to be Rad, what's up? Go to video settings. Okay. Sorry, everybody who's watching. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, stream. Okay. No, that's right. And if it ends, we'll be back. Oh, thank you. Born to be Rad, thank you. I was trying to use StreamYard. I'm using OBS, and then I was going to go on StreamYard so that I could, show everybody's comments and stuff. But I didn't. I don't know. I did something wrong. So, yeah, Mikey, that's probably a good idea. I apologize for this. I thought I had it set up correctly, but I guess not. So, I guess I'll just abandon StreamYard and try that another time, as long as I look and sound okay on here. So, I am wondering if I can answer you guys in StreamYard. So I'm going to try to post a comment on here and see if you guys get it. Hey, can everyone see this? Okay. All right, it should have posted. Yes, okay. Cool. Sorry about that, guys. Started a little early. Hello, Count Von Strange 4. What is up? Let's see. I've got a whole mess up here. I've got my iPad. I've got my phone as a camera. Oh, gosh. Okay. But as long as I sound okay and look okay, then that is cool. All right. Hey, Gavin. How's it going? Everybody's early. I love this. Yeah, so to those who are new here, welcome. I guess I won't officially like start the Q&A type stuff until 3. We've got a couple minutes, I think. But yeah, first live. So done some on Instagram before, and of course that's, you know, pretty user friendly, but and then I've been guests on lives before, but I've never done my own. So we are learning and growing. And hopefully for the next one I'll figure this all out. But yeah, I'm not a very tech savvy person. Pretty bad with computer stuff in general, so the learning curve for YouTube has been pretty high for me because I'm not good with cameras, I'm not good with computers. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Mikey says, think of it as karaoke night. You might not hit every note, but showing up singing your heart out is what it is all about. That is so true. I love that. Hey Shaim, how's it going? Yeah, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes and officially start at 3, I guess. But yeah, hope I sound okay. And everybody who's in the chat, thank you for coming early. I really appreciate it. And if you want, if I've never met you before on my channel, if you want to drop your name or your favorite horror movie, I'd love to hear all of that. So let me know in the chat. You got farther than I would have. I can't learn any of this shit. Yeah, Gavin, it's hard. It's definitely something I'm not naturally good at, so I'm still learning. But I appreciate everybody who shows up so much. Thank you guys. Yeah, this is an interesting day because, you know, it's the day before Easter. So normally I would try to do a live stream probably on Sundays because I think that just more people are available on Sundays generally. But obviously, since tomorrow is a holiday, I was like, well, we'll just try to do this on a Saturday. So future live streams will probably happen on Sundays, I'm guessing. Yeah, that just seems to be kind of the best day. But okay, we've got about a minute. So yeah, thank you guys for rolling with the punches. Hey JDev, how's it going? Scream 2 is your favorite horror movie of all time. I have heard that, being on Ken's channel a lot. I have heard that. It gets around. So he's talked about how if people will bad talk Scream 2 in the chat or anything like that, he'll be like, oh, J-Dev is going to come after you because that is his favorite movie. So that's awesome. Do love Scream 2 a lot. And for those who don't know, my dog Puka, she's walking around down here. I apologize if you can hear her little toes tip-tapping on the floor. Oh, and I just said her name and she's popping up. Do you want to say hello? Come here, baby. You want to say hi? Oh, there she is. Can you sit? Say hello. This is Puka for anyone who's new here. She is my 5-year-old mystery spaniel. Not exactly sure what breed she is. We got her from a shelter, so. Hey Justin, what's up? Shaheem says that The Crow is their favorite. Okay, you can get down now. Sorry, I gotta catch up with the chat. Hey Pig Boss, how's it going? And Mikey's favorite is The Lost Boys. Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Yes, first stream, very exciting. You missed my technical difficulties at the beginning. Maybe I can talk to you later. I don't know if you know anything about OBS and then streaming on StreamYard. I know that's a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo, but I did not get StreamYard to work, so we are here. The Craft remake is my favorite horror movie of all time. Is it really? I feel like I have a hard time believing that, Justin. I don't know. Born to be Rad, Lost Boys for you too. Awesome. That's a great one. Yes, so we're officially starting. I started a little early on accident, but Jadav says, yep, I'm the Scream 2 guy. It's not my favorite movie, just my favorite horror movie. Okay, nice. Um, yes, she is my co-star, Mikey. That is so true. All right. So, I'm trying to see if I missed any comments. I apologize. I really wanted to be able to show them up on the screen, but I didn't get it to work, so that's okay. So, yes, this is my first live stream for anyone who, is just tuning in or didn't see the original post for announcing the live stream, but pretty much just general talking about horror. You guys can ask me questions if you want, or you can just, hang out and chat. Whatever you want to do. It's very chill. Shaheem says, how are you enjoying your splatter day? Saturday. I am doing good. It's been a good day so far. Pretty chill, just kind of gearing up for this. Trying to make sure everything worked, and then it didn't, but that's okay. Okay, Justin talked to Garrett for streamer. Okay, awesome. Streaming is kind of scary because if something goes wrong and you're trying to figure it out in the moment, you're just like, kind of scrambling, but it's fine. First time, we're gonna work out some kinks, but yes, I will try to get in touch with Garrett. And Jada says the earlier the better. It's always good to be early. That's true. Just tune in a little early. You never know, you might miss something, like me struggling with technology. But if you guys have any questions or just want to talk about horror, like I said, tell me your favorite horror movie, or any movies that you've been really excited about lately, any newer movies. I'm always looking for newer stuff to watch, because I have a tendency to not watch a lot of new horror, so I really love recommendations for like stuff that's come out in the past 5 years. But yeah. Oh, Garrett said he needs the 10 of Ray poster. Yes, I got that from, there's this eBay store. It's called, oh my gosh, I can't remember. New York something or other. And they do a bunch of really high quality movie posters. Like, they're pretty small. I think you can get different sizes. These are pretty small, but they're really good prints. I like them a lot, and they're pretty affordable too. So, yes. Shame, no stream is perfect without technical difficulties. That's so true. We're rolling with it. Yeah, I don't have a webcam, so I'm using my phone right now as a camera, and I think that just added another layer of difficulty. So, Shaheem asked, what are my top 5 favorite home invasion movies? Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can name 5. I love Hush. I forget what year that came out, like 2016 or something like that. I think Justin would probably know. If you're still there, Justin, let me know what year that came out. Let's see. Oh, Funny Games. That's a great one. The original, I've never seen the remake, although I know they're like shot for shot, same director and everything, so I'm sure it's basically just the same thing but in English. That's only 2. Oh, Inside. The New French Extremity, that one, that might be my favorite. That one's just so good. That's only 3. I'm trying to think of other ones. I don't like The Strangers that much. I think it's a little boring. Oh, Your Next is really fun. I like that one a lot. What else? I kind of like reverse home invasion, if that makes sense. Like, Ready or Not is kind of like a reverse home invasion. And I guess so is Your Next, but yeah, I don't know. Was that 5? I think that may have been only 4, but JDev said, watch the new Invisible Man. Very nice. That is a really good one from the past 5 years. Yeah, just an excellent, excellent film. Really love Elizabeth Moss in it. So good. The effects are so good. Justin says, Shining and Cabin Fever are your favorites. Seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once this afternoon and The Northman this week. Those are my most anticipated. Very nice. Yes, I've heard really good things about Everything Everywhere All at Once. It kind of seems just from the trailer like it might be a lot, like just a lot going on. So I think I probably have to be in the right mood to watch it, but I have heard really good things about it so far. So I would definitely be open to seeing it. Maybe not in theaters, although it might be one of those that's like better seen in the theater, because it seems like a very like cinematic experience. But and then oh yeah, The Northman. I'm really excited about that one too. I know, Justin, you've been talking about that one for a long time, and I really hope that it lives up to all the expectations. It looks like it's gonna be pretty epic either way, but I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah, those are two that are really good, upcoming. Also, I don't know if we're still getting Terrifier 2 this year. I thought it was supposed to be maybe later, like in the fall, maybe around Halloween, but I was looking forward to that. So, hey, Miss Carter. Hey, Anna, congrats on your first live and Q&A. Have you seen Last Night in Soho? Yes, I watched that for the Oscars, which is coming up at the end of the month. My friend Haunted Hippie, I'm sure a lot of you know on YouTube, she puts on the Oscars, which is basically Oscars for horror movies. So I will be presenting the category Best Original Screenplay, and one of the movies that was nominated for that was Last Night in Soho. So I did really enjoy that. The cinematography was amazing, the editing and the lighting just so good. Yeah, if you haven't seen that one yet, definitely check it out. Soundtrack also very, very good. Jadev loves Ready or Not. Awesome. Gavin doesn't like The Strangers. Where's Ken with the cancel button when you need him? Right. Yeah, I don't know. Even when I first saw it, like my first watch of The Strangers, when you don't know what's going to happen, I was still a little bit bored. I don't know. And it just seemed a little bit anticlimactic to me. I probably like the sequel, Pray at Night, better, honestly. I mean, that one's just more fast paced and more of like your traditional slasher. But yeah, I don't know. The Strangers just doesn't do it for me. Let's see. Shaheem says, top favorite Home Invasion, When a Stranger Calls remake, Ready or Not, You're Next, Black Christmas 2006, and Better Watch Out. Ooh, that is a good one. I totally forgot about Better Watch Out. Yes, I would definitely add that to my list as well. I need to rewatch that, although, you know, it's kind of one you just want to watch around Christmas time, but I guess you'd watch it any time of year. But Cine Arcadia Productions, hello. One lesser known home invasion movie that I really like is If I Die Before I Wake. Okay, it's pretty stripped down and bare bones. I have not heard of that. I will definitely have to check that out. That sounds cool. Do you happen to know what year that came out? Is it older or is it a newer one? I do really like the home invasion subgenre. I think it's something that you can always kind of do new stuff with. Like there are always different situations that you can put the characters in. I mean, obviously it involves being in a home, but you know, I feel like you can still do a lot of stuff around that. So, oh, 1999. Okay, I would love to see that. Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, Pig Boss, the pool scene. That's the best part of that movie, in my opinion. It's so well done, very well executed. Shaheem asked, what are my top 3 Chucky movies? And I actually have only seen 1 and 2. Yeah, I have not seen, I'm trying to think. No, I haven't seen any other movies in that franchise. So I'd have to say 1 and 2, and then 3. I don't have a number 3 spot, but yeah, I really need to watch that franchise, and I might do that as one of my live watches on here sometime. Probably watching Child's Play 3. So I will definitely watch this eventually. Justin, I have not seen Nightmare Alley yet. I actually just got, one of my friends gave me their HBO Max login, so I can watch it for free now, so I probably will. But I don't know if they offer they had like the color version, and then I don't know if they were doing like limited time black and white version. I don't know if you've seen that one, Justin, if you would recommend color or black and white one. Or I don't know if that one was just like a limited thing, but yeah, I really need to watch that one too. Miss Carter says, I call you better watch out, a growler. Oh, I can't read. Grower. Grows on me every time I watch it. Yeah, I've only seen it, I think maybe twice. So I'm sure like on the 3rd time and even more, I'll like it even more, like you said. Definitely does seem like one of those movies for sure. Yeah, that's a really good one. If you guys haven't seen, better watch out. As far as like Christmas themed horror movies go, it's one of the better ones out there for sure. Let's see. I've got chat going in different places. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I think my iPad is a little bit faster with putting the comments up, but let's see. Shaheem said, Kim, I probably would have canceled you for not having seen the rest of the Child's Play franchise. Yes, I know. I never watched the big franchises as a kid, and I'm really playing catch up with them now. Like, I just watched all of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise for the first time all the way through last year. And then I still haven't seen all of Halloween or all of Friday the 13th or Child's Play. So yeah, I'm really behind on those. I'm just not a franchise kid. I don't know. The YouTuber Little Punk People said he has scenes in Terrifier 2, so they shot it at least. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I hope, I mean, I don't want them to rush getting that out. Like, I definitely understand, you know, with everything with COVID, if you had to take some more time to, like, get your movie finished safely, then totally, I would rather have that than have something that's been rushed out and maybe isn't as good as it could be. So, yeah, I'm sure whenever we get it, it'll be fine. I'm not, like, clamoring for it, but it is one that's been on my radar for a little bit. As far as like new movies go, but I am also, for those who have seen X, I don't want to spoil anything, but I am very interested to see when Pearl is going to come out. I hope we get some more information on that as well. So maybe that won't be till next year, probably, but hopefully next year we'll get that. So let's see. Oh, hey, Loch Ness Monster, how's it going? Just tuning in. As a VHS collector, how do you feel about the market around sealed and graded tapes? Would you invest in a certain title if it were attainable? So I'm really not super knowledgeable on like releases of tapes or like what they're worth or different, labels that are discontinued, all that kind of stuff. Like I have very vague knowledge of. So I would say I don't really feel one way or another about it because I just really don't know much about it. But as far as sealed tapes, I mean, personally for collecting, I don't really care. I mean, I know for some people they're more valued because they're sealed. But at the same time, sometimes you don't know that it could be sealed and there could be a ton of mold on it and you don't know until it's opened, or it's like you're just never going to watch that, I guess, because it's going to be sealed forever. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just something where it just depends on how much people are willing to pay for those. But I personally don't like buy tapes off eBay or anything like that. I literally just go to thrift stores and flea markets and stuff like that and try to get them for cheap. So it seems like a lot more people are catching wind, like people who aren't collectors are starting to realize how much their tapes are worth. And so even people who wouldn't call themselves like VHS collectors have these tapes sitting in their homes and they're like, ooh, this is worth $25. I'm going to sell it, at a high price on eBay or whatever. So it is interesting to see how that's kind of changed over the years. But Shaheem says the first time watches are always better than if you've already seen a popular horror franchise. I actually love that. Yeah, that is true. I am looking forward to seeing some of these really popular franchise movies for the first time. So I think it is a little different for me because I don't have a lot of nostalgia attached towards older films like that. So I kind of see I see the appeal of some of them looking back, but at the same time, for me watching them in whatever year I see them, the year 2022, some things just really don't hold up for me. And so I feel kind of bad because a lot of people are like, oh, I love this movie so much, Halloween 4 or 5 or whatever, it's so great. And then I'll watch it and be like, yeah, it's okay. And I think it's really because I don't have nostalgia attached to it. But I still appreciate them for what they are, of course, just being a part of, big horror franchises. But yeah. Let's see. I hope I'm not missing. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I hope I'm not missing anybody. But yes, you're welcome, Nessa, for answering. Hello, John Smith. How's it going? Hello from Germany. Hey. For those who are tuning in right now, I'm very sorry that I do not have the ability to put the chat on screen. I was going to use StreamYard and that didn't work, so I'm just going to be reading out the comments out loud. I hope that's okay for everybody. Just please bear with me as I stumble over my words for some of these. But Shaheem says, if I had to choose only one of them between Ginger Snaps or Jennifer's Body, oh, that's really hard. I love them both a lot. But if it's going with like something that I'm going to rewatch more, I would probably have to say Jennifer's Body. Although I do love them both so much. That's really hard. I just think Jennifer's Body has a little bit more rewatchability factor for me. I don't know if that has to do with it being more of a newer film, but yeah, I'd have to go with Jennifer's Body on that one. Nessa says, yeah, I'm biased to have some rare titles sitting around from the 80s that I think would be worth a good bit, but I totally get all your points. Yeah, sure thing. Again, I'm by means no expert. I am a part of some like VHS tape Facebook groups and everything, and it's just so funny because I'll just be on there and just see tapes and be like, oh, those are so cool, and people will be in the comments like, oh, I can't believe this tape is selling for this much, it's not worth that, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I really have no idea, but I'm just here to have fun and look at the pretty covers and stuff. So hello, Flet Lives, how's it going? John Smith says, I used to love finding rather obscure VHS titles way back when, if only for the trailers to find even more obscure stuff. Yeah, it is funny how many things are just like, they look so cool on the cover, and then if you were to actually watch them, you're just like, ooh, this is not very good, but the cover is cool. Gavin says, have you seen Wes Craven's New Nightmare? Random question, but that movie is on my mind for some reason. Yes. I have seen it, and that is probably, it's in my top 3 of the Nightmare franchise. I think, I can't decide if it's 2 or 3 for me. The first one is just, it's number 1, and that will probably always be number 1 for me for the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. But I go back and forth between New Nightmare and Dream Warriors because those two are both, I think, the second and third best in the franchise. But those two kind of flip places for me a lot. But I like New Nightmare a lot, for sure. Do I have any German editions? No, I don't. There are a couple people I follow on Instagram. One of them is Michelle and Bobby, and the other is Wolf. Oh gosh, I can't remember his handle right now, but they are, I believe they both live in Germany, but they have some really cool tapes, and I love seeing the German titles on them and everything. And sometimes they'll even like plug in the German title that's on the tape into like Google Translate just to see what it would translate to in English. So I would love to get some more foreign tapes and stuff like that. I love the way that like Japanese tapes look. Jasmine Peters, I believe that's her handle on Instagram. She has a ton of really rare Japanese tapes. If you're into that, definitely go follow her. She's awesome. My favorite are Vestron tapes because they had a big catalog and lots of different obscure genres and titles. Yeah, I only have one Vestron. I guess I probably have more than one, but the classic like V logo, I don't know which era of Vestron that was, if it was like the original. But I have The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. That's the only Vestron tape I have. I would love to get more. But again, those are becoming harder to find because people know that those are quote unquote worth more or are more valuable. So would definitely love to have some more of those. And Shaheem said that they would choose Jennifer's Body too. Both Ginger and Jennifer's Body are body horror films. Yes, still ahead of their time, I agree. Definitely Jennifer's Body was not appreciated in its time, as we saw. I'm not sure about Ginger Snaps because I was pretty young when that came out, so I'm not sure how like it was received. But yeah, that's such a good one. Thank you, Flet Lives, for congratulating me on passing 900 subs. Thank you so much. Yes, it's been a journey. I'm really hoping to get to 1,000 soon, but we will see. All in due time, I'm sure that'll happen. But I still have a bunch of VHS tapes, and it's insane how horror tapes have jumped in value over in 10 years. Stuff I bought for $1 to $5 10 years ago now goes for 100 plus. Yeah. And some people are, even I'll know some of the tapes they're trying to sell are like absolutely not worth what they're trying to sell them for. Like some that are pretty common, you're just like, really? you think that's worth that much, or you're just trying to like profit off of people not knowing how much this is actually worth, which really sucks. But yeah, it's been hard going to Goodwill and thrift stores. I mean, if they have any tapes at all, a lot of times they'll just be, like Titanic or Forrest Gump and stuff like that, and like literally no horror. I think people just go in and clean out the horror, or they, before they even donate, if they're the ones who are trying to get rid of them, they'll realize they're worth more and try to sell them. So yeah, I do miss just being able to go and find a bunch for $1 each or 50 cents each. Let's see. New Nightmare and Dream Warriors are tied second for me too, Gavin. Yeah, nice. Yeah, those two. I mean, I think 4 was okay from what I remember. I think 5 and 6 are where it started to kind of fall apart for me in that franchise. But yeah, Freddy's Dead was just, whoo, that one. Of course, no knock if you like it. There are things to like in all of them, but for me personally, that one was pretty rough. John says, I used to love Medusa VHS, if only for the logo. Yeah, I don't have any of those. I know there's, Unicorn, or I think that's another one that's a little harder to find, Wizard. Yeah. I need a lot more. I just have, pretty standard, for the most part. I'm trying to look over my shelf over here. Yeah, all pretty common, new lines and stuff like that. Gargoyle, I did not fix the craft one that I have. For those who are wondering what they're talking about, I had a very, very moldy craft VHS tape that I got, I think from Goodwill or something, and I was maybe going to try to look into fixing it and cleaning the mold off, which seems like a whole process in and of itself, and I don't know if I have the equipment to do that. But one of my friends did send me a very, very nice clean version of the craft. So I do have a playable craft tape, which I'm very, very grateful for. My friend Alyssa Anonymous on Instagram, she's awesome. Hey Ryan, how's it going? What did I think of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake? I think you're one of the few who actually liked it. Yeah, that's one. That it makes my worst horror remakes list, unfortunately. I just think that the CGI took me out of it so much. And even that aside, the story itself didn't grab me very much. And I don't know, the whole making Freddy a pedophile thing, I don't know. That storyline was just kind of weird, and I don't know, it just felt kind of gross. So, and of course, him being a child murderer, is that better? I don't know. Just adding that plot point on is just like, I don't know about that. But yeah, I should give it another try. I've only seen it once, but I just really, really didn't like it, unfortunately. The Psycho remake is also on my worst remakes list for sure. Oof, that one. I don't know how you can do a shot-for-shot remake and make it that bad. Like, shouldn't it still be essentially, as not as good as the original, but like kind of good? Yeah, that one. I couldn't even finish that one. Nessa says they've gotten rid of so many tapes over the years. You could kick yourself for now. Ooh, Meat Cleaver Massacre. I've never heard of that one. I have heard of 3 on a Meat Hook, Frozen Scream, The Invitation. Oh my gosh. Drawers full of big boxes. It's crazy when you look back and you're like, oh my God, I had this thing that now I wish I never got rid of, but at the time it seems like I wouldn't miss it at all. For me, that's like Pokemon cards. Got rid of I don't know, holographic Charizard or whatever, but those are ones where I'm like, oh, I wish I still had those. And all my Polly Pockets too. I do miss those. John says growing up in the 80s in the UK, the ultimate get was the infamous Video Nasties. Yes. I don't own any Video Nasties on VHS. I would love to get some. It'd be awesome, one day, have a complete list of Video Nasties on VHS, but I'm sure that might be unattainable at this point unless I want to spend, bucket loads of money. But, hey, Everything Horror, how's it going? Thank you for coming. Shaheem says, aside from New Nightmare and Dream Warriors, my top being my top two favorites Freddy films. I really loved Freddy vs. Jason because Jason's in it. I thought he brought a new fun element to the Nightmare franchise. Yeah, I did like parts of that one. I think there are some things that I had kind of wished were better executed. And again, a lot of it has to do with it being in early 2000s, you know, lots of CGI and stuff like that. The whole got your nose part, just ridiculous. Yeah, I would be interested to see if they were to redo a versus. I think that they could probably make a pretty compelling Freddy versus Jason remake, or, you know, maybe another Pinhead versus, I don't know, Candyman or something like that, you know. I think that that would be kind of fun if they could pull it off, but I know rights and things are a whole issue, so having two different properties in the same movie, all of that stuff I'm sure is very hard to do, but let's see. Nessa says, I got to watch Freddy's Dead in 3D. Ooh, in the theater back in the day. School skip day. I love that. I love the idea of skipping school to watch Freddy's Dead. That's awesome. I wonder how it played in 3D, if it was a little bit more compelling, I guess. I didn't even realize that they released it in 3D, but I guess that makes sense. Oh, thank you, Shaheem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that for my first live stream. I'm sorry if I'm missing people. I'm trying to stay up on the chat. Okay, let's see. All right. Ryan says, what are some of my favorite remakes? There's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, The Ring, The Blob, Night of the Living Dead, and The Crazies. Those are awesome picks, by the way. I still have to see The Blob and Night of the Living Dead, actually. Those are two I haven't seen yet, but I actually did a live stream with, for those who might know, Sledgehammer Horror, Ken and Ashley. They do live streams almost every week, and I was just on one, was that last week, 2 weeks ago, where we talked about our favorite horror remakes. So if you want to see the full list, I did 10 favorite horror remakes on there, but I will give you my top 2. And actually, this was another question that was asked in my Instagram. And let me see who asked me. I had to print out a piece of paper because I was like, I'm going to have so much going on my screens. But who asked me that? Ooh, Soft Death on Instagram asked me favorite horror remake. And so my top 3 on that list were Suspiria from 2018. Just watched that recently and it blew me away. I was so impressed by it. Just what they did with what little story was in the original Suspiria, and the way they incorporated like the dancing with the witches, and Tilda Swinton was amazing in that. I just learned that she played the old man in that too. I had literally no idea that was her. And she played, for those who have seen it, Mother Marcos, the really gross witch, like at the very end. So she had 3 roles in that movie, which is insane. I had no idea that she was playing the old man. She's such a great actress. And then of course Dakota Johnson does such a good job in that too. But I also had The Thing, of course, another favorite remake for sure. That one's hard not to put on any best remakes list, but it is one of my favorites. I have not seen the original of that one either, unfortunately, but the remake just stands on its own, I think. And then I think my number 3 was The Invisible Man from 2020. That one's so good. Let's see. John says, the renting VHS way back when, you could always tell when gory/nudity parts were coming due to the poor quality of the tape. Oh no, because of frequent rewinding. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of gross, but definitely makes sense. That's really funny. Let's see. I saw Freddy's Dead in theater as a kid too, says Cine Arcadia. There are actually a few seconds of footage that was only in the theatrical release. Oh. When Lisa Zane talks to the audience about how the glasses work. Ooh, that's really cool. I wonder if that's on YouTube somewhere. I would love to watch that. That sounds really cool. Gavin says the Blob remake was so good. I know, I really need to watch that one. That's been on my watch list for quite a while. Let's see. The 3D was like the last 20 minutes of the film, and a disclaimer came up on the screen telling you to put your glasses on. Okay, so that's what they were referring to. The actual 3D part is amazing. Okay, nice. I'll have to look that up and see if I can find that clip. Everything Horror asked, do I collect Blu-rays as well? Yes, I just started actually. I just got a Blu-ray player for the first time. I think it was for Christmas or maybe it was even my birthday. I can't remember. But yes, so I couldn't buy Blu-rays before that because I have nothing to play them on. So I have a very teeny, teeny, tiny Blu-ray collection so far. I would love to get some more. I actually have a list of movies that I want to get on Blu-ray very soon. Some of those being Malignant and Gretel and Hansel. X when it comes out, definitely want that on Blu-ray. So yeah, it's very tiny right now. I only have 4 movies. Cherry Falls, Parasite, Hereditary, and the folk horror documentary Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched from Severin, which is amazing. If you guys haven't seen that, please check that out. It is so good. It's streaming on Shudder right now too. If you don't want to have to buy the Blu-ray. Shaheem says, yeah, it was already hard enough getting Friday the 13th from Paramount to New Line. I think Friday vs. Jason should stay in its own lane as a one-time capsule of a crossover. Yeah, it definitely is a time capsule for sure. It kind of really says a lot about that time period that it came out, just in some of the dialogue and subject matter, but also the visuals and CGI and all that too. So John says, Freddy's Dead was fun to see Johnny Depp return to the franchise in a blink of an eye. Yes, he's on the TV, right? Some weird commercial. I don't remember what exactly he's doing in it, but that was really fun. I did like that cameo a lot. Nessa says, The Thing, Last House on the Left, Hills Have Eyes, A Spit on Your Grave for remakes. Nice. Let's see. Pigwa says, was The Thing a prequel? I'm sorry if I'm late in the chat, guys, but so there was the prequel from 2011, and then 1982 was the remake. So I haven't seen the prequel, but I've heard the CGI is not good in that either. Let's see. Shaheem says, I love that you had to print out your DMs. That's so original. I never met anyone who do that. Yeah. That made me love you even more. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just knew I was like, I'm going to be flipping through all these screens on my computer. I don't have to juggle my Instagram too. So I had printed them out and wrote down my answers. Very, very old school, but thanks, Justin. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Have fun at the movies. Let's see. Good Real Hunting wanted to pop in and say, hey, congratulations on all your success. You'll be getting to 1K in no time. Thank you so much. Oh, I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for all your guys' support. It means the world to me, really. Just trying something new like this and kind of diving in head first and figuring stuff out along the way. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. And I'm already looking back at some of my old videos and being like, oh gosh, not great, but I'm coming a long way. I'm getting there. And I still, want to keep improving. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Everything Horror, that's a great start to the collection. Will you go after steelbooks? Yeah, I would love to. I just know those are expensive. So if I come across some, I'll definitely, if I have money, I'll buy them because they look so cool. And I'm sure they just hold up better. And I just like the idea of it being metal instead of plastic because God knows we have way too much plastic in the world anyways. So having it be metal would be great. But yeah, I don't own any steelbooks currently. But if I ever see any steelbooks at like a thrift store or anything, which would be interesting because I feel like people aren't really getting rid of those right now. But I will definitely try to snap them up because they're so cool. See. This is what I'm thinking of from IMDb. In the theatrical print of the film, there is a cue scene where Maggie looks directly at the audience while holding the 3D glasses and says, now. That sounds kind of ominous. Just like having someone look at the camera and be like, now. But that is really cool. Yeah, I'll look that up for sure. I don't think it's ever been available after the theatrical release, or I would have found it. Okay. Well, man, you really think that for the internet being the way it is now, it's like, man, there can't be things that just can't be found. Like, everybody can find, like, the resources that we have. Somebody will find it somewhere, but that's not necessarily the case. So I would be really sad if no one could find that. But Nessa says, yes, the part with Depp was a parody. of the This Is Your Brain on Drugs ad spot. Okay, he did back in the day. Oh, so he actually did the ads, and then he did a parody of them in Nightmare on Elm Street. That's really cool. So the reference was hilarious. That's so funny. I guess it would kind of be like, I don't think we really had those. I was a little bit past that growing up, so I didn't really see the Your Brain on Drugs commercials as a kid. But it was more like Dare and like the Got Milk ad. So if I saw something like that where it was a celebrity, they were like parodying the Got Milk ad, then I guess that would be kind of in the same vein of a joke. But that's really funny. Because is there something with an egg in the movie on the TV? He's got an egg where like that's Your Brain on Drugs or whatever. He's frying it or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I have in my head from trying to remember it. But Pure Hangout says, what was your first horror movie seen in the theater? Apologies if you already covered this. Oh, no, you're fine. I haven't talked about this in the stream, but I think I mentioned it on my... I did a video on like how I became obsessed with horror, and I thought that it was Alien versus Predator. If you count like hard horror, although some might consider that sci-fi. I mean, I guess it's sci-fi horror, but that was the first PG-13 movie I ever saw in theaters, so I have a really clear memory. So I'm pretty sure that was my first horror movie that I ever saw in theaters. I'm trying to remember if there was anyone before that, but I don't think so. Which is really interesting because it wasn't like I was obsessed with Predator or the Alien franchises. Like, I don't know if I'd seen any of them. Maybe Alien on TV before seeing Alien versus Predator. So I was just really drawn to it for some reason as a 13-year-old. So, or I guess I was 11 when it came out. But yeah. There's a trailer for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer that I saw in the theater that is apparently lost. Okay. Yeah, interesting. I'm sure there are whole Reddit threads on these kinds of things. And people are like still digging and trying to find them. But Shaim says, what are horror movies you think were and still are ahead of their time? Oh man, that's a really good question. Give me a second to think on that because... oh man, that's going to take me a minute. Nessa says, yeah, they shoved the just say no crap down our throats constantly as kids, especially in school. I have heard of McGruff the Crime Dog. I think that maybe my early elementary school, that was still a thing. Yeah, he was really funny. He was like a puppet, right? I don't know why they thought that we would just listen to a dog puppet more than just a regular human, but... yeah, Dare was definitely a thing. That was a big thing when I was in elementary school, and I still have my Dare t-shirt that we got. It's like an American flag, it just says Dare on it. I still have that. My parents would order shirts in like larger sizes than we needed. I don't know if they were just like, oh, they'll grow into them. So we'll order a couple sizes up so that, you know, they can wear them for years and years, I guess. So that one still fits me too. Yeah. Let's see. John Smith says, I know I'll probably be called a heretic for this, but a remake that I think is better than the original is the US remake of The Ring. Yeah. Unfortunately, another one I haven't seen the original of, but I do think it's pretty, I mean, it's one of the highest regarded remakes for sure. That's one that people will just cite as one of the best movies of the early 2000s and one of the best PG-13 horror movies. And the fact that it's a remake and they can make it just that good just really says a lot about that film, I think. But, I mean, Samara, so creepy. The imagery of the tapes, so good. It's kind of wild that that film is only PG-13, actually. And they still managed to make it really scary. I think because they use like actual like building terror instead of just kind of like jump scare, gross out moments, and that's why it's lasted, you know, as long as it has. 20 years later, I can't believe that film is 20 years old. That's wild. Let's see. Gavin says, we had this weird comedy duo come into our elementary school to tell us not to do bad things. I love that they're like, if we make it funny, they'll listen and then they won't do bad things. And kids are like, yeah, sure, whatever. I've gone back and forth on which version I prefer. They have different strengths, referring to the ring. Yeah, I need to watch the original Ring for sure, Ringu. I have seen The Grudge, I cite as my first horror movie, although technically it was probably Alien versus Predator, but I cite it because I remember it way more than Alien versus Predator. And it just stuck with me a lot more. And I saw it, I think, the same year, just a couple months later. So that one, I have seen the original, The Grudge, or Ju-on, yes. And I think I remember liking, well, yeah, I think I remember liking the remake better. Because I think it's the same director, even, which is cool because he still had hold of the vision that was the same as the original, but he could kind of like tweak it for American audiences, which is cool. But Everywhere Man, excuse me, Everywhere Man, hello. They say hi. I like the new room. Thank you. This is same room, just a different angle. So my setup for my TV and everything's right over there. What I normally film in front of, but I'm trying to face the light. The lighting in this room is not good, so I do apologize for that. But I have my tiny ring light is trying to do the best it can, but it is not very bright either. So Nessa says, yes, the McGruff puppet was truly horrific. And they used him because the cops all geared up would scare the crap out of kids. That's very true, yeah. I do know that there was I don't know if he's a YouTuber, but he was on, I think I saw a TikTok where this guy takes an old McGruff crime dog uniform, or costume, not uniform. He is dressed in a uniform, the costume is. But he takes that and he makes like a crime drama, a fake crime drama trailer wearing that. So he's like a police procedural in a McGruff outfit, which I'm like, that's kind of genius. They should just do that. I feel like it could be an Adult Swim thing and people would totally watch it. I'm sorry, I can't remember the person who posted that, but if you search McGruff Crime Dog on TikTok, you can probably find it. Oh, I'm losing track of the chat. Let's see. John says, hugely counterproductive anti-drugs campaign we had in the UK was a film called Out of My Head, talking in a frank way about drugs. But it also makes it look cool. Yeah, that's where it's like, you have to do it in such a way that it scares kids and not makes them go, that seems interesting. I'd be kind of into doing that. Seems like fun. We have no vendetta against rugs in the UK. That's so funny. Shaheen asks, have I ever seen Rose McGowan's Jawbreaker? I have. That is a great one. Yes, that's a really good description of it. A mix of Mean Girls and Heathers. One of your favorite teen crime horror films. Yes, that one is such a good black comedy, kind of, I don't know if you would call it a satire, maybe a satire of like teen movies, but so good, so well done, so campy. The fashion in that is amazing. Oh my gosh, I die for like all of their outfits. They're so good. Yeah, I actually saw, I think, a clip of Jawbreaker on TV once when I was a kid. It was the part where they like find out that they killed her and she's got like the Jawbreaker lump in her throat, and I just remember being like, whoa, that looks really scary. This isn't for me, and turn it off. So just took me a couple of years to watch it, but I'm so glad that I did watch it and wasn't scared off by having that, experience as a kid, because it's such a good movie. Arcadia says the notoriously bad example of the same director remaking a film is The Vanishing. Oh, did he did the English or American version, I guess. The original is so good. It is like a masterpiece, I would say. I just watched that one for the first time this year too, and I was so glad that I watched it unspoiled, because that ending, it just hits you like a gut punch, and so much better when you don't know what's going to happen. But I haven't seen the remake, and I don't know that I ever will, especially if it's as bad as you say. It is interesting how many times like directors will remake their own movie, which I kind of get when it's, you know, a foreign film and they want to make it for an American audience. But then, like, you get Eli Roth making Cabin Fever again. I'm pretty sure he did the remake, right? Or he definitely was involved in it, which is like, it's only, you know, it was less than 10 years later, right? I'm pretty sure. Or if it was not too far off from 10. Yeah. I haven't seen the remake of Cabin Fever either, but Fletliv says, who would want to interview on the channel? Who would I want to interview? Oh man. I guess if we're going with like people on YouTube, like fellow YouTubers, I would say, I mean, Dead Meat would be fun. They just seem really awesome. But as far as like just people in general, I'd have to think about that because I wouldn't say that I don't know, am naturally inclined to be an interviewer. I think that it would be a little stressful for me, especially for people who, you know, like big names, celebrities or directors or something like that. I would be really nervous doing it, but maybe that's something possibly in the future once I get my feet under me a little bit more and I get a hang of live streaming more. I could look into doing that, but let's see. Looking at the chat. Don't want to miss anybody. Shame says the opening of Jawbreaker definitely sold me on watching the entire movie after that clip on YouTube. I own the DVD. I own the DVD and still am obsessed with the film. I find it better than Mean Girls, actually. Yeah, Mean Girls definitely took a lot from it. Definitely used it as source material for sure. But yeah, I like them both. I think if I'm going for something that's a little bit more laugh out loud funny, I would go with Mean Girls. But something that's a little more biting, I would choose Jawbreaker. But they're just both so good. Yeah, that Heather's, Mean Girls, and Jawbreaker, like the trifecta of you know, that kind of mean girl black comedy. Nessa asks, have I seen Freeway with Reese Witherspoon and Brittany Murphy? I did not know that she was in that movie. I have heard of it, but I've never seen it, and I do really want to see that one and then the sequel, Freeway 2, because that has Natasha Lyonne, who I love as well. So that's like a badass trio of ladies right there. But I will definitely watch Freeway eventually. That's been on my watch list for a while too. So I would really love to see that because is Kiefer Sutherland? No, who's the bad guy in that? Remind me. It's someone like that. Arcadia says, I agree. I actually saw the remake first. The ending of the remake is ludicrous if you've seen the original. Oh, is that the... Oh, that's... You're talking about The Vanishing, yeah. Oh, so they changed the ending. Yeah, oof. That's like the best part. That's the whole payoff of the movie. That is an interesting choice they made then. Pigbass says, looking at your Tenebrae poster, that movie has one of my favorite scenes ever. Can you guess which one? Is it the one with the arm cut off and the blood spraying on the white wall? That's the first one that comes to mind for me, but that's a really cool scene. Nessa says, oh my god, you never look at Reese Witherspoon the same again. Yeah, because she plays kind of a different, she plays against type for her, right? Because obviously, normally she's kind of like the all-American, good girl, kind of like squeaky clean. And in that, I think she's a sex worker, right? And she has kind of like a foul mouth and she's Southern. So it'd be interesting to see her play against type for sure. Oh, it is Kiefer Sutherland. Thank you. I love him as well. It'd be cool to see him playing kind of a skeezy guy like that. I mean, he's really good at playing villains, but it seems like a very specific kind of villain in Freeway for sure. John says, though the Vanishing remake does have an early appearance from Sandra Bullock. Oh, okay. I didn't know that either. I'm wondering who she plays. If you're saying early appearance, oh, you mean early for her in her career? Sorry. Does she play the girlfriend who goes missing in that? If so, that makes me a little bit more interested in it because I do love Sandra Bullock, but still, if the ending's bad, then I don't know. But oh, hey Justin, welcome back. I'm looking down at my iPad. This one is updating a little faster than the one that's on StreamYard, but let's see. Justin says Freeway is absolutely insane. Witherspoon never did another role like that again, which is unfortunate. I would love to see her kind of play a little bit more variety. I think, isn't there going to be a Legally Blonde 3 happening? Just like, come on, I don't know if we need a third movie of that, but let's see. The Vanishing remake does, oh wait, I read that one, sorry. Big Guns, hello, how are you? I'm doing good. Oh my gosh, Justin, commenting and driving right now, but had to show some love for Freeway. That's so funny. I love that. Don't get in a wreck though, please. I would feel so bad. Yes, okay, Sandra Bullock does play the girlfriend in the Vanishing remake. Okay. That does make me more interested, I gotta say. It's weird though that that's the same director. The Girl That Vanishes, yeah, thank you. Shahim asks, do I prefer Happy Death Day, Freaky, or both films? And are you down in seeing a crossover film? Yes, I am definitely down for a crossover film. I think they'll be very interesting. I do like both. From what I remember, I think I liked Freaky a little bit more, but I haven't seen Happy Death Day in a long time, and I haven't seen the sequel to that either. So that might sway my opinion a little bit, but I'd say, sure, why not? Like, combine those universes and see what happens. I think it could be very interesting because we've got, like, time loops and we've got body switches. I'm sure they could add something on top of that as well to make it even crazier, but Arcadia says Fury 2 is even crazier, worth checking out. Yes, I have heard good things about that one too. And I love Natasha Lyonne. I think she's amazing. So her being the protagonist definitely makes me want to see it even more. See, Born to Be Bad, I'm back too, or Born to Be Rad, sorry. Had to record my RoboCop 4K review. Hope the stream is going well. Thank you. Good luck on the review. That sounds awesome. That is another movie I haven't seen. RoboCop, I know. I haven't seen so many, like, just big name classic movies, but I'll definitely have to check that out when you post it. Although, I don't know, are there any spoilers? I guess it's an old enough film. I haven't seen it yet. Like, seeing some spoilers wouldn't hurt, but let's see. Nessa says, it's a big old love fest in here now. Aw. Yeah, you guys are being so sweet in the comments. I love it. Born to Be Rad. I haven't seen Freaky yet. I keep putting it off, but I'm hearing real good things. Yeah. It definitely has the teen horror movie vibes, but it's not as, like, teen as you would think. There are some pretty good kills. I mean, it's still pretty, like, polished and stuff, but Vince Vaughn just does a really good job playing a teenage girl. Like, he carries it off so well. And then, I can't remember who plays the girl, but she does a really good job being, you know, a serial killer in a little high school girl's body. So I would definitely suggest it for sure. Yeah, no spoilers for sure. But it's definitely, the creators of that, they're doing some very interesting things. I can't remember if it was 2 directors or 2 writers, but they seem to be putting out a lot of, like, cool, different, but still, it feels kind of familiar, if that makes sense. Like, when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, this definitely feels like a teen horror movie. So yeah, they're just doing really good things. But DJ Dean Thomas says, curious, are you old enough to have experienced the mom and pop video stores before Blockbuster? If so, any fond memories? Yes. I was a child of the 90s. I was born early 90s. So that was actually another Instagram question, which was from my friend Lydia, Mama Monster on Instagram and on YouTube. She has a great YouTube channel. Check it out. She asked how old I was too. I'm 29, so definitely experienced the whole 90s video stores. We had a local store called Max's Video, They had, you know, VHS tapes. They did balloon filling there. You could buy like Mylar balloons and stuff, and you know, a ton of like movie theater type candy and stuff like that. So that was my first experience of like seeing horror movie covers and being interested in horror just by looking at the covers, but not having actually seen any of the movies. But I knew from a pretty early age that I was interested in horror because I was like very intrigued by some of the covers. This is also something that I talk about in my how I became obsessed with horror video, but some of the ones that I remember very vividly seeing in the store as a kid, the covers of the April Fool's Day VHS, that, you know, braided hair noose, very iconic. The Dead Alive cover with the skeleton popping through the girl's mouth and, you know, her eyes bugging out. So, yes, I definitely have some very fond memories of being in local video stores. And, of course, we went to Blockbuster, too. But, yeah, Max's Video was my local store. I missed it so much. It went out of business, oh, gosh, I don't know, at least 15 years ago. And it was replaced by a Subway, which is very sad. Shane says, yes, Catherine Newton was Millie. Thank you. In Freaky. That was her, the actress. Definitely was not going to remember that name. Nessa says, if I haven't seen Peeping Tom from 1960, I would recommend that one to everyone. Some people call it the first contemporary American slasher film. Duff ahead of its time. Yes, that one is really, really good. Same year as Psycho, pretty crazy. I think the release was a little hard with that one. I think because it came out in the UK and they were a lot more strict, which is weird because I think Psycho premiered in America, and it was just, I think because it was attached to such a well-known director who was already known for suspense and thrillers, that one was way more well received. And Peeping Tom was kind of, they were trying to do a lot of cuts on it. They just thought it was really disturbing, I guess. So it just didn't do very well. I think it actually ended that director's career, unfortunately, because it's such a good film. I'm glad it's being appreciated now, but it really sucks that at the time people just did not get it. But yeah, Born to Be Rad adding Freaky to their Amazon cart now. Awesome. Definitely looking forward to what you think about that for sure. Nessa says, popcorn and sticky carpets, the adult section in the back, TVs playing trailers everywhere. Yes. I don't think our local store had like the back section, but Family Video definitely did. I think it had like saloon doors instead of, I know some places had like the curtain, but yeah, never went back there. Was not brave enough as a kid. I was definitely a goody two shoes growing up, so I would have thought I would get in trouble if I went back in that section, but Gavin says, glad I caught the tail end of the whole video store thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool seeing, you know, people who were raised going to video stores and stuff like that are now of the age where we're looking back really nostalgically at it, and we're getting a lot of people recreating stores in their basement, or, you know, like Flashback Video, where it's like a whole almost art experience going in and kind of reliving being in a video store from the 80s or 90s, which is really cool because, you know, for them to just disappear completely would have been really sad. But I think there's still so much love for them, that the fact that we still have people who obviously like collect VHS tapes, but they're building like whole entire video stores with shelves and, you know, TVs, and just trying to replicate that whole experience. I think that's really cool. I'm trying to remember, there are definitely some people on Instagram that post, they've got, you know, their basement decked out like a video store, but I can't off the top of my head think of any of the handles for those, unfortunately, but I'm sure you can find them if you just Google like, or search video store on Instagram. Let's see. Shaim says, the video store was my gem of places to shop for all kinds of movies. I wish I could spend the night in that store and just watch endless movies. That does sound great. Just have like a sleepover in an old video store and eat popcorn, watch horror all night long. Oh, sounds amazing. Yeah, I would love to do kind of like maybe a live stream series where it would be like a movie watch along, where, I don't know, just watching either old horror movies, like all older stuff, or maybe doing like all slashers and having it be like slasher slumber party or something where everybody just, gets on and watches the same movie at the same time and we talk about it. I think that would be really fun. Maybe after I get the hang of this whole live stream thing and work out the kinks, we can start doing that because I think it'd be really fun. And it's really unfortunate that I can't show a movie on screen, like for everybody to watch, like, screen share and have everybody watch on the same screen because copyright and all that stuff. But that would be really fun. I wish we could do that, but alas, YouTube would take that down instantly. Nessa says, I missed it too, Shaim. Our local store was also a newsstand and bookstore in the front. That's really cool. So I would get my Fangories and Stephen King books there too. Oh, that's awesome. I do. I don't know if I ever went to a grocery store that had, like a video store in the back. But I do know that was a thing, which is another cool thing that's obviously just died out. Some stores will sell DVDs and stuff like that, but they don't rent them, which is unfortunate. I do have there's a local bar here where I live, and it's really, really cool. They do a bunch of live events like comedy and stuff like that, but they also just will have movies playing on a projector, and they do actually have a video rental section. It's very much like throwback old school. I don't know. I think they do have VHS tapes, but it's a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays too. But it's also a bar, so you can get drinks and then go to their little tiny section and actually rent movies. I think it's, I don't know, like $3 to rent for a night or something. So that's cool. They're kind of still trying to keep it alive. But yeah, as far as actual video stores that are still functioning around me, I don't know that there are any. There was one that lasted until like 2015 or something like that, which is a lot later than most video stores. But of course they had to shut down, which is really unfortunate, but I miss them so much. Shaim says, that's a wonderful idea. I'm down as hell for that, Anna. Yay! I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, if you guys have suggestions for movies that you would want me to watch on a watch along, please comment below and let me know so that I can put them on my radar. I do like to do things that I haven't seen just so I can kind of react to them, but I would definitely be open to ones I have seen so that I don't have to pay like super close attention, because I think going between the chat and watching the movie, I'll definitely miss some stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments if there are any movies that you would want to watch for a live, like watch along type thing. Nessa said that bar sounds amazing. Yes, it's really cool. I hope they're doing okay with COVID. I think, everywhere's kind of hurting, but something like that that's pretty niche. I just don't know how much business they're doing. I hope they're doing okay, but hopefully they stick around longer. They're pretty new. I think they opened maybe either right before COVID hit or right around then. They're maybe only a couple years old, I want to say, but yeah, just a really cool idea. Puka's looking at me. Do you want to say hi again? You want to say hello? You come up. Puka will make her second appearance. Let's see. Oh. Say hi to everybody. She's like, what are you doing up here, Mom? What's going on? Hey. Her hair is kind of crazy right now. She gets like a little faux hawk sometimes. You doing okay? All right. You say bye to everybody? Bye. She always gets a little bit wigged out when I start talking to my phone. She's like, what are you doing? Okay. Nessa said, hello, puppers. Hi, Puka. Yes. I always love having her make little appearances on the channel because I'm just such a dog lover that I know some people just get a lot of joy out of seeing dogs. So Justin, who was in the chat earlier, Movie Watch Daily, has a really, really cute Boston Terrier, Pete. If you guys don't follow him, please go check out his channel. And Pete's in maybe not every video, but a lot of videos, and he's so cute. Shaheem says, I definitely would love to see your reaction to Jawbreaker or Serial Mom. Serial Mom is definitely another great horror comedy, and that is also one I haven't seen. Maybe I'll watch that one for Mother's Day. That might be a good one. It's John Waters, right? Yeah, I haven't seen that one, which is kind of crazy because I know that one's really popular too. But, aw, Shaim says she's the cutest bean. We call her Bean all the time, me and my husband. She's our little bean. So it's so funny that you call her that too. Pig West says, other than demons, of course, have you seen The Neon Demon and Starry Eyes? I have seen Neon Demon. I have not seen Starry Eyes. I would really like to see Starry Eyes because I know a lot of people really like that movie a lot. But Neon Demon, I thought visually was very stunning, just cinematography and the way they do stuff with the lighting. I mean, lots of neon type stuff, obviously. It's called Neon Demon, but yeah, just the way that one's shot is really cool. Story-wise, I don't know. I wasn't super grabbed by it. I think Elle Fanning is such a talented actress that she can kind of just carry a movie just by her acting kind of regardless of story. So I really got to rewatch that one and see how I feel about it on a rewatch because yeah, the first time I saw it, I was a little ambivalent about the story, but definitely totally worth it for the visuals. But I will definitely watch Starry Eyes. Gosh, I gotta watch that soon because I hear people talk about it a lot and I feel like I'm definitely missing out. But Nessa says Serial Mom, underrated Waters film along with Cecil B. Demented. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've seen any John Waters movies. I know that's kind of like blasphemy, but I can't decide. Well, actually, I did try to watch Crybaby like maybe when I was in high school. It was a really long time ago. And I don't know that I finished it. I didn't really like it. I don't think I knew what I was getting into. I don't think I knew what the tone was going to be. I didn't really know anything about John Waters in high school. So I just saw Johnny Depp was in it and he played like a greaser and that looked cool. So I'm sure going in knowing kind of like the style of films that John Waters makes, I will like it more. But yeah, I don't know what would you guys recommend for a first time John Waters watch, because there are so many that I've heard about, but as far as like the first one you ever see, what would you recommend? Let's see. There's a cool video store in Serial Mom too. Okay, that's good to know. I'll keep an eye out for that. Gavin asked, have I seen Night of the Demons? Yes, I have. That is, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one with Angela. For some reason, I've got like two different films in my head that are competing, but yeah, if it's that one, then yes, I have seen it. And I did like it. Gavin, we almost watched Night of the Demons on Salisa's Patreon. Oh, but it never won the vote. Oh, oh, I do like Salisa a lot. She's awesome, sweet and spooky. Nessa says that they love Female Trouble even more than Pink Flamingos. Okay, start with the Female Trouble. Polyester is my favorite though. It's the most polished of his early works. Okay, that's really good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I have heard Female Trouble is really good. And I have a vague understanding of the plot, but I don't really know what Pink Flamingos is about. Yeah, y'all better watch it. It's the best. Ride or die for Night of the Demons. Gavin looks like. Definitely Serial Mom I would recommend for your first John Waters, especially since Mother's Day is right around the corner. That's true. Maybe I will just end up watching that one. Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling that I'll like it okay. Just because the understanding I have of John Waters movies, it might be a little bit not too raunchy, but just like if it's cruel humor, sometimes I have a little trouble getting into movies like that. But I know it's just like one of those things you have to do. Like you have to watch John Waters movies to have an understanding of film in general. But yeah, definitely gonna do that soon. We definitely will at some point. Just don't kill us, Gab. yeah, I can go. Let me see. I've got some questions, some more questions from Instagram. I don't know if anybody who left these is on the live, but I will try to answer some of these questions in case they watch this later. So, my friend, Not Just Horror D asked, if you could eliminate one subgenre of horror, what would it be? And I think I would probably have to go with the SA revenge subgenre. So films like, Last House on the Left, I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know. I just think if I had to pick one, that would definitely be the first to go. We've seen a lot of it. I think we kind of get what it's about. I think you can do some new stuff with it, but at what cost as far as the way it's depicted in films, I still think can be mishandled a lot by directors. So that's the one I would have to pick to get the chop out of horror subgenres. And we've got Dead is Better Club asked, are you interested / intrigued by the cool steelbooks that come out of horror movies? And I did talk about this earlier in the live, but yes, I would love to own some someday. I don't have any right now, but one day. And then they also asked, what's a horror movie you wish got a sequel? And this was a really hard question. But I said Alice, Sweet Alice, actually, which may sound a little surprising because my handle on Instagram is Anna Sweet Anna, which is named after that movie. It's not my favorite movie. I just kind of picked the handle because it went with my name. But I do like it a lot still. It's, a Catholic-themed slasher. I was raised Catholic. It features a young brunette girl. I could really identify with that character. But I honestly think I would be interested if we could go back in time to the 80s and have, let's say Alice, Sweet Alice was way more successful, have them make a remake in the 80s where Alice is all grown up and she turns into a killer. Like she was inspired by, the killings in the first one. And we just have kind of a schlocky 80s sequel of Alice, Sweet Alice. I think I would like to see that. But yeah, if you guys let me know in the comments too, what's a horror movie that you wish got a sequel that never did? Let's see. Also, Dylan J. Sauber asked, most underrated horror genre and best horror flick no one talks about. I would say most underrated horror genre. It's a little hard. Obviously, very popular genres are like slashers. Supernatural, I would say, is another one. But I think folk horror has now just become more identified as a subgenre, although it really, genres are so fluid that a lot of things can fit into multiple genres. So, but I think as a whole, folk horror, we just got the documentary about it. We're more identifying films as folk horror. I don't think we were necessarily doing that in the past, 30 years or so, and back to the 70s when they first became popular. But I just think there's so much you can do with folk horror and different folklores and everything. So that's definitely one I think that is more underrated in the grand scheme of horror. And then best horror flick no one talks about. I think The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the remake from 2014, deserves way more credit. First of all, just as a remake. It's almost like it's the first requel. I talked a little bit about this on the live with Sledgehammer Horror where we talked about favorite horror remakes, and I think that one doesn't get talked about enough. It is really meta, and it's a little Scream-esque in a way that it's commenting on the movie, the original movie as a movie, not as like events that happened in that world, if that makes sense. It's in this town where the original movie was made because of the killings happening in the town, and then everybody's reacting to that. And just the design of the killer is really cool. Love it so much, like the sackcloth mask and the jean jacket and everything, so cool. So I think that one deserves a lot more love than it gets, especially, it kind of came out at a weird time. It feels a little late for those early 2000s remakes since it's 2014. But yeah, definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. The Town That Dreaded Sundown remake. Let's see. Mega Movies says, hey there, hope you're doing well. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Arcadia says, I love Alice Sweet Alice, seen it so many times. There's supposed to be a remake, but it hasn't happened yet. I haven't heard of that. I'll have to look into that, which is kind of surprising. You think I would know that they were talking about doing a remake, but definitely seems like we're riding the wave of remakes still for sure. So I don't think I would be mad at a remake. I think it would be interesting to see what they could do. I just hope they keep kind of like the Catholic themes really strong. Those just really resonated with me. But hey, Tiago, how's it going? What is up? Thanks for joining. Tiago, you missed earlier. I had some technical difficulties, and I was gonna try to do StreamYard where I could put up the comments on the screen for everybody, but alas, that did not work. So we're rolling with the punches here. Pig Boss says, oh, Dante Thomas, I'm gonna say that name wrong, was supposed to do it. Oh, the cousin of Alfred Soul. Oh, that's really cool. I could get on board with that. I actually don't know if Alfred Soul is still alive or not. I have a feeling he's probably not, but it would be interesting if he was, if he could give some creative input since it is his cousin. But I'm interested in that. I would hope he would be respectful of the source material and everything. But Nessa says our cat was obsessed with Alice Sweet Alice. She would sit in front of the TV and wait for the cat screeching in it. It would attack the screen. Oh, we watched it so many times that she knew it was coming. Wow, that's a smart cat. Yeah, that scene is honestly a little distressing. Where Alice takes the little kitten. Oh, and it's like the 70s, they did not have very good regulations on like what you could do with animals in movies. So I'm sure maybe that cat got hurt. I don't know. Hopefully not, but that's really funny that your cat would attack the screen. Oh, I love that. Shame says, I would love to see sequels to Freaky and Jennifer's Body, but the more I rewatch it, I realize I'm proud of them just being cult classics. The films too feel similar for a double feature. Yeah, those would be a good double feature, I would say. Really fun, pretty fast-paced, kind of sleek movies for sure. Yeah, I'm interested in this Alice Sweet Alice remake. Well, we'll see if it actually happens. I know a lot of stuff's been put on hold for COVID reasons, but it looks like we are not out of the weeds with remakes and reboots and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see what else comes here in the next couple of years. But oh, wow, Alfred Soul died a couple weeks. Oh, 2 months ago. Wow, it was that recent and I didn't hear about it. That's odd. I mean, I know he wasn't like super famous or anything like that, but just being in horror circles, I would have thought I would have seen something about that, but oh, that's really sad. I wonder how he felt about the remake, I'm sure he was aware of it. I'm guessing because it was his cousin, then he probably approved of it, but yeah, oh, that's really sad. R.I.P. Alfred Soul. Oh no, really? Oh, that's so sad. Pigboss says suicide on Valentine's Day. That is so sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. Ugh, that's awful. I mean, he had to have been pretty old, I would guess. I could be wrong about that, but ugh, that's so sad. Yeah, ugh. It's just we've lost a lot of big name people this year already. Betty White, Gilbert Gottfried. Oh gosh, there's some other people I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But Shaheem asked, "Have you heard of the new Crow remake?" Yes, we were talking about that on the live I did with Sledgehammer Horror as well. I've only seen The Crow once, and I did like it. Sorry. So I don't really feel one way or another about it because I don't have like a strong attachment to it by any means. But I know a lot of people really, really love it. And obviously, Brandon Lee, we want to honor his legacy and all of that. So I can totally understand if people are hesitant about it. And Bill Skarsgård is playing the main character, right? I think we determined that. But yeah, I would watch it. I'd be interested to see what they could do with it. I would probably want to rewatch the original and then I have heard that the sequels aren't great, or maybe it's just 3 isn't good, but 2's okay. Yeah, I will have to see. But yeah, I don't know why I try to remember when I saw The Crow for the first time. It's been several years. I do remember liking it though. The aesthetic is very cool. I do remember. And obviously like the face paint and everything, very neat. That's another revenge movie, but I think done in a pretty good way. Mikey said there's a lot of bad sequels. That's true. Most of the time, the sequel does not hold a candle to the original, but kind of just depends. Yeah. Let's see. My other questions. One of my subscribers, forgive me if I say this wrong, they said they couldn't join, but Low Key Vision Films, they've been a subscriber for a long time. They're awesome. They asked, am I interested in filmmaking, like becoming a writer, director, producer, actress, or something along those lines, or are movies just a hobby for you? And I would say just a hobby right now. I don't have any kind of schooling in film. I took some film classes in college, but they were just, I think they counted for like arts credits or something like that. I didn't learn anything about filmmaking, like the art of filmmaking, like me making a film. So all the technical stuff I don't know anything about, and I would definitely not say I'm an actress by any means. I would be a pretty bad actor. But I would be interested maybe in the future, maybe in a couple years or down the road, possibly writing screenplays or something like that. Maybe directing, although I think that would be a really big undertaking. I do find it interesting. I just don't know if I would be cut out for it. But yeah, that's my answer to their question. Shaheem says the second Crow film is definitely the only decent sequel in the franchise. Okay, good to know. Gavin says it fills my little goth heart. Love that. Nessa says I just learned recently that Diane Thorne from the Ilsa franchise died a few years ago. Oh, she must have been pretty old, right? Because she was she middle-aged in those movies? Those were in the 70s, right? That's unfortunate too. Let's see. Mama Monster asked, I can't remember if I answered this earlier, but my favorite horror director. I would say right now, if I had to pick, Jordan Peele is really impressing me with his work. I know he's only had 2, theatrical movies so far, but they've both been so impressive, and I just love his artistic vision, and his way he incorporates humor in his movies is so good. He just does such a good job with all the aspects. He has a very specific vision, and he can execute it, which I really, really like. And he's talking about a lot of current social issues and making them really poignant and interesting. So I think I'd probably have to go with Jordan Peele, and I'm very excited to see Nope. I'm very excited for that one. That was one I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about films that we're looking forward to that are being released later this year, and that's really high at the top of my list for ones I'm looking forward to. So cannot wait to see Nope. And I don't know if you're still in the chat, Tiago, but you had asked what horror movie I wished had a better ending, and I would say Candyman 2021. I did like the movie. It was just the ending was so abrupt. The third act happened so quickly, and a lot of things come at you all at once, and there are some changes in like the tone of some characters that felt really jarring to me. So I think if the ending were different, I would have rated that as one of my favorite films of the year last year, but just the way that it ended was really weird, and I don't know, it just took me by surprise, not in a good way. So yeah, I definitely have to say Candyman 2021, I wish it had a better ending. But the direction of the movie was so good. Nia DaCosta did a great job directing for sure. Sean Coyle says, I think Oz Perkins is pretty underrated. Seen any of his work? Yes, he did Black Coat's Daughter and Hansel, or Gretel and Hansel, right? I did like both of those a lot. I loved Gretel and Hansel. The imagery was stunning. Just cinematography and everything. Speaking of folk horror, that's a really, really good folk horror movie. If you all haven't seen it yet, but pretty simple story, but beautifully shot, just very well executed. And then Black Coat's Daughter, I haven't seen in quite a while. I remember being a little lukewarm on it. I think I might like it on a rewatch, just kind of knowing how it plays out. But again, still very well made, beautiful movie. So yeah, I'm interested to see. I don't know any of his upcoming projects, if he's planning on anything, but I would definitely want to see more of Oz Perkins' work for sure. And Gavin, did I like Creep and Creep 2? I have not seen 2, but I did really like 1. I thought that was a really good found footage movie. Mark Duplass, just an amazing actor, really pulls off that character so well. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one a lot. And Peach Fuzz is kind of an underrated horror icon in my opinion. I think more people should like dress up as Peach Fuzz, wear his wolf mask, sing the song. Yeah, he's definitely underrated for sure. Walk On Always Believe says, I'm making 2 short horror flicks this year in England. Awesome. Can you tell us what those are about at all? Or is this a secret for right now? That's awesome though. Congratulations. Let's see. Shame says Candyman 2021 definitely around the 3rd act felt disjointed and a bit rushed. Didn't know why it felt that way. It just did for me when I was watching. Yeah, I totally agree. I think they just had a lot of input from a lot of different people. Like 3 people wrote the story. That just seems like a lot of ideas happening, and they just didn't quite flesh them out. I don't know. If they had kind of pared it down a little bit, I think it would have turned out better. But yeah, and then Tony Todd only being in it for like 2 seconds. Again, kind of unfortunate, but Gavin says Creep 2 is even better in my opinion. Watch please. I will. I promise. That's another one that's been on my watch list for a while, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's female protagonist kind of takes the place of the guy from the first one, just serving as our like character interacting with Mark Duplass's character, which I would be very interested to see how he interacts with a woman as opposed to a man, because he was already pushing like boundaries with the male character in the first one. So I'm sure with it being a woman, it would be interesting, like dynamic. But yes, I promise I will watch Creep 2. I've got some questions from London Horrors on Instagram, another good friend of mine, London. She asked, if you could remake any horror, what would you choose? And I would have to say Pumpkinhead, which I can't remember if that is actually getting a remake or not, but that is definitely up there for movies I would like to see remade. I think they could do some really cool stuff if they keep the creature practical. That is a non-negotiable for me. But I just think the storyline is really interesting with the witch and like again the folklore of Pumpkinhead. I think that would be really cool to see adapted for like a modern audience. Of course, you know, I don't know if you would keep the same premise of like having a kid die or a loved one die, and obviously you got to keep like the revenge story a part of it. But yeah, I think that would be really cool to see. And then she also asked, what do I think the scariest movie universe or franchise is? I would probably have to either go, I'm kind of torn between 3, but the first one I would say A Nightmare on Elm Street, because that obviously everybody has to sleep at some time. So, you know, you can't avoid that. And Freddy can do so much crazy stuff in your dreams, and it's so scary. I just think being stuck in that and not being able to fall asleep would be so terrifying. But I also think that Hellraiser would be really scary. The Cenobites, terrifying. Being stuck in eternal pain forever sounds really bad. Would not want that. And then It was the third one. Having this supernatural thing that can embody your deepest fears Yeah, also very terrifying. So I don't know which of those is worse, but those three came to mind. I think for some of the slashers, I, can maybe try to hold my own. But when it comes down to supernatural stuff, that's, yeah, way scary in my opinion. M. Bish asked, do I play Dead by Daylight? And I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not a video game person. I've never been. My idea of a fun video game is like Guitar Hero or Dance Dance Revolution, something like that. So unfortunately, no, I don't play any kind of video games whatsoever. But that's the one where you can play as like horror villains, right? Am I right about that? Let's see. Try to catch up on the chat. Nessa says, looking forward to the Adult Swim series. Come out later this year. They kept pushing it back. Uzumaki? Trailer looks eerily similar to the manga. Oh, it's a manga. Okay. Oh, is it Junji Ito? Okay. Oh, that'd be interesting to see. Oh, that'd be pretty scary, actually. Let's see. Oh, okay. Gavin says that the woman in Creep 2 is a YouTuber. All right. Might hit a little close to home. D is in the chat. Hello, D. How's it going? Thanks for joining. Let's see. Walk On Always Believe says, thank you very much. One will be a throwback to the silent 20s, 30s horror. I'll make it look like an old classic with screen subtitles. That's amazing. That sounds awesome. Very interesting. John Martin asked, have I seen The Sleeper from 2012? Not a bad throwback slasher. No, I have never heard of that. I will have to add that to my watch list. It sounds like it could be an underrated slasher from the 2010s. Shaheem is rewatching Jawbreaker right now. Nice. Love to see a slasher horror comedy remake version of the original. I think that would give the film a fresh take. Yeah, I would love to see that. Someone going around killing people with jawbreakers. That would be really interesting. And then Walk On Always Believe says, the other will be a guy on the way to meet his girlfriend. He has to walk through the woods at night. She rings. She can't make it. Walking halfway in the woods, the phone dies. Ooh. And cliffhanger. Oh, there it is. And there's a creepy stalker in the woods. I'll be doing the acting, directing, screenwriting, effects, editing. Wow, that's amazing. Good luck with that. Those are two really cool ideas and both very different. They sound like they could be really neat. So definitely best of luck. I'm sure shooting a film and doing all that stuff by yourself is no easy task. So yeah, that's awesome. Definitely support indie filmmakers, guys. I talked a bit about Hellbender on one of my recent videos, which is done completely by a family who, they just wrote, directed, starred in their own movie about witches, and they seriously did such a good job. I was so impressed by Hellbender. Check that out if you haven't seen it. It should still be on Shudder. Yeah, as far as indie filmmaking goes, they knocked it out of the park with that one. Nessa says, The Running Man needs a remake correctly. I love the original movie, but it's over the top fun. Nothing like the written story. Okay. That's a Stephen King story, right? I haven't seen the movie or read the book, so. And Gavin says, Hellbender rules. Hell yeah, it's so good. Just the way they do, like, the magic in that movie and, like, the sticks and flowers and stuff. Oh, they're so cool. Like, the art direction that they did really carries off the movie. Like, it really makes it look really artsy and, like, yeah, just another good folk horror movie. Witch movies are, I'm always a sucker for a good witch movie. I love them. Let's see. I think I've got a couple more questions from Instagram. One of them is from Sarah at Your Fave Gremlin. And she asked, if you could give one Oscar to one horror movie that never got one, which would it be? And I would have to say, it's kind of hard because there's so many good ones, but probably to Elizabeth Moss for Best Actress for the Invisible Man remake, because she did such an amazing job in that role. Just having to act and go through all those emotions and, like, not be in a room with anyone, essentially, be reacting to like invisible stuff happening. And she just did such a good job. And then also, of course, Toni Collette and Hereditary. I mean, everybody still talks about that performance. It's something that I think she'll be known for good reason, for a really long time. She just kills every role she's in, but of course that one, she was phenomenal. Even though Hereditary is not maybe my favorite, I still totally was enthralled by her performance. She did such a good job. And then let's see. Oh, Dee, if you're still in the chat, you had asked who are some of the horror YouTubers who inspired me to start making my own vids. And I will say, for those who don't know how I started, I was doing some videos for Anatomy of a Scream. They have a publication, online publication. They have a podcast network, and they call it their screening room on YouTube, which is just their YouTube channel. But I was making some videos called Sunlit Horror on that channel, where I talk about sunlit scenes in horror movies. And I just decided I want to make my own channel and produce my own content. So I hadn't really followed many YouTubers before then, but then once I started making my own videos, I joined a group chat with a bunch of different YouTubers, and we all kind of help each other out, let each other know when we post videos, and they've helped me out a lot. And some of the people that have been in that chat from the very beginning are Sledgehammer Horror, Haunted Hippie, Royal Horror, Movie Watch Daily, Slasher Pepper, let's see if I'm forgetting anyone else. Yeah, so all those people have really supported me, and I've followed their content very closely because we've been helping each other out. So go follow all of them because they're amazing. But yeah, they've definitely helped me in my horror journey and are a huge part of why I started and have kept going with YouTube. And then other people that I just admire, I would say Dead Meat. You know, they do such a good job. And then not quite horror. They do talk a lot about horror movies, but Red Letter Media, I love them so much. They are amazing. They're kind of like our modern day Mystery Science Theater 3000. But they're probably the YouTube channel I watch the most videos from, the most consistently. So yeah. So that answers Dee's question. Let's see. Shaim asks, what's the one horror movie that you couldn't watch by yourself back in the day or even today? I would say most horror movies I can watch by myself, and often do. My husband's like not super into horror. He'll watch some, but there are definitely some that he's like not about. So I would say, I guess maybe The Grudge, since it was like one of the first ones I watched and really freaked me out as a kid, and I was really scared of The Grudge. So if I were to watch it as a kid multiple times, I wouldn't want to do it by myself. But for the most part, I'm okay with watching horror movies by myself. But Nessa said, horror never scared me. Mama sat me down when I was like 4 and showed me the making of Michael Jackson's Thriller and helped me explain how movies aren't real to me with it. Oh, that's awesome. Loved horror ever since. Your mom sounds awesome. And that's really good because then, you know, you kind of get that understanding that this isn't real. Monsters aren't real. They're not going to come get me. It's all magic and, you know, movie magic, and special effects and costumes and everything. So that's really cool. And probably, you know, really helps you just not be scared of what's on the screen. I think as an adult, I'm really good at separating that. Like, I don't generally get freaked out by horror movies. I would say it's more like true crime and stuff that freaks me out, that will keep me up at night thinking about. I'll listen to, you know, a podcast about whatever true crime event, and then that night I'll be sitting there thinking about it, or like hear a creak outside my door and think, is somebody out there, you know. But I still keep indulging in that content all the time. I'm addicted to true crime stuff, so I definitely put that on myself. But Nessa says, she is, thank you. She's the one who let me skip school and took me to Freddy's Dead. Oh, nice. You went with your mom. That's so cool. Yeah, she sounds awesome. Definitely not something my mom would have done because she, number one, was not really into horror movies. And she wasn't strict, but, you know, she wouldn't let us skip school for a movie, which I kind of wish she did. But that's awesome that your mom took you to that. So cool. Shaim says The Grudge is definitely a perfect choice. Yeah. Kayako just chilling up in the corner with her hair spreading out in the corner of the room. Just anytime I would see a dark shadow in the corner of my room at night, I would just be like, well, it's the Grudge. She's coming to get me. Am I a goner? Yeah, that was my first horror movie episode I did with Sledgehammer Horror. I talk about that. We kind of go a little more into detail about it. So if you want to check that out, definitely do. I think I link that in my description of all my videos, so you should be able to find that. And definitely subscribe to him too, because he's awesome. Pig Boss said, Red Letter Media, yes. I actually own 148 flicks of their VHS collection. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, they have an insane VHS collection. And what gets me is like the way that they are so rough with all their VHS tapes. Like, I don't know if they have dummy tapes in the slips or if they really just don't care about some of the ones where I'm like, that seems like it's a really rare tape, and you're just like throwing it all around the room and they knock them over all the time. It's just like my heart kind of stops every time they do that. But they're so funny. They're hilarious. For anyone who hasn't watched Red Letter Media, please, because they are amazing. Let's see. I think I've got one more question on my did I answer that one? I can't remember. My Instagram. But Alyssa Anonymous asked my favorite year for horror movies, like 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. This was a really hard one for me. I think 70s are up there. I think the 70s was just such an interesting period because we're coming out of the 60s. We're coming out of the Hays Code. So many directors were like, we are going balls to the wall. We are going all out with gore and nudity and everything. Like, so there were a lot of like restrictions that were on movies that were kind of just taken away. And directors really felt like they could be as crazy as they wanted to be, and as creative as they wanted to be. So, and I just really like the aesthetic of a lot of 70s movies, like the kind of gauzy, almost grainy sort of cinematography. Daughters of Darkness is a really good example of what I'm talking about, with that kind of cinematography from the 70s that I just absolutely love. But I do also like the early 2000s. I think there are a lot of underrated movies from that time. I mean, like the early 2000s to the 2010s. And I honestly think that the 2020s is going to be a really interesting year for horror. It's already started out really good with 2020, 2021, and 2022. The movies that have come out, you know, obviously we've got the remakes and reboots and stuff, but I think a lot of the original horror has been really neat. So I'm very, very excited to see what comes out in the next 8 years of this decade, because I think we're going to get a lot of really cool creative stuff happening. But yeah, I think I want to say that's all. Well, I might have one more question. What movie or event ignited my love of horror? From Big Guns 506, and I do have a video on that. I think it's called How I Became Obsessed with Horror or something like that. But I talk a lot about the movies that got me into horror as a kid, like Scooby-Doo, and some of the more creepy kids movies like Secret of Nim or We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, that kind of stuff. But in high school, I kind of moved on after The Grudge. That was in like middle school. High school, I moved on to more of the remakes of that era, like When a Stranger Calls. The Collector was a big one for me as well. I loved The Collector in high school. And then I would say, as far as like my adulthood, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, really kicked off my love for 70s horror and just more obscure, more intense horror in general. So that's kind of like a condensed version of that video. So if you want to hear more about that, definitely check out that video on my channel. I think it's called How I Became Obsessed with Horror or something like that. But I think that answers all of the Instagram questions, I'm pretty sure. So let me see in the chat. Yes, Gavin, shout out to Sledgehammer Horror. They're amazing. Let's see. Nessa says, can I do the Grudge sound? I will try my best. I used to be able to do it. Let's see. Did that sound kind of like it? That's honestly the best I could do. Let's see. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody. Mikey says VHS are pretty sturdy boys. That's very true. Yeah, you could probably chuck it pretty hard across the room, it'd be okay. I guess it's just more of the case and not wanting to get like dings and stuff, but that's just me wanting to like keep everything very pristine and nice, as nice as it can be. Of course, when you get used to VHS, they're usually gonna be dinged up in some ways. The covers are, but they just really do not care at all. Red Letter Media, they're just like setting VHS tapes on fire, hitting them with hammers. Yeah, it's so funny. Shaheem says, my horror fanatic mother raised me on horror movies since I was a baby and still love the genre today. I was that horror nerd growing up in my family who watched behind the scenes of horror to amuse yourself, I think. That's amazing. See, I kind of wish that I had had a little bit more access to horror as a kid, because I really didn't watch much at all until middle school. So I did miss out a little bit in my like elementary school days, but maybe it was for the best. Maybe it would have freaked me out a little too much and I wouldn't have gotten as into it as I did. But yeah, I love the stories of people who have been watching it since they were little. I think it's awesome, and who continue to love it to this day. Let's see. Shaheem said pitch perfect fridge. I'm guessing that was Grudge voice, Anna. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, you said it down there. Autocorrect, yeah, sometimes you're like, how did you get fridge from that? But thank you. I think it kind of helps because I've been talking a little bit. My voice is getting a little more gravelly. But let's see. Arcadia said, good luck with the streaming thing. I have to head out. I'm new to your channel. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for being so active in the chat. Yeah, I'm probably going to get close to wrapping it up here because it's been almost 2 hours, which is kind of wild. It's really flown by, but and Nessa says, it's wild how much they strayed from the actual story. Oh, talking about Running Man. Yeah, I definitely have to watch that. I have it on VHS, actually. I think I do. I haven't talked about that in one of my collection videos yet, but let's see. Walk on always believe. Will you be doing more videos like the one that you chose? The story. That video is such great fun. Oh, yes, the choose your own adventure. Yeah, I would be very open to doing another one of those. I just have to find another good one. That one was really hard for anyone who tried to do that. Choose your own adventure horror story on BuzzFeed. I could not win. Someone commented and said they could, and I just wanted to ask, like, how exactly did you do it? Because it was so hard. But I'll have to look and see if I can find any more like that. Some of the quizzes, like, so for something like that, I can't check it out beforehand. I literally have to play it as I record the video, because if I do it beforehand, I will have gone through already, if that makes sense. So sometimes it can be hit or miss, the quality of them, but the BuzzFeed ones are usually pretty good. So I'll see if they have any more of those on BuzzFeed. But yeah, that one was really fun. John Martin says House on Haunted Hill remake is fun. Yeah, that one's really good. That almost made my top 10 favorite horror remakes. The live that I did with Sledgehammer Horror, it was really close, and honestly, it kind of goes between that and the House of Wax remake. But House of Wax went out for me, but yeah, that one's still really, really fun. Mega Movie says, love your posters, by the way. Thank you so much. I got them off of eBay, and I was trying to remember the vendor's name, and I can't. It was like New York something. I don't know if you just search like horror posters. And they're pretty affordable. I want to say all of these were maybe like $7 each or something. Not bad at all. Good if you want to kind of fill some space, but you don't want to spend like $25 on those, you know, the big posters. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of the eBay vendor, but let's see. Shaheem says, I feel like we just started on this stream. Aw, time really does fly when you're having fun in life. Oh, you're so sweet, Shaheem. Thank you so much. You guys have been so awesome in the chat. So I think now it's been almost 2 hours, so I think I'm probably gonna have to cut it off now. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in. I do apologize again for those technical difficulties at the beginning. I am really sorry about that. I will try to figure out StreamYard for next time, I promise. But thank you for those who stuck around for that. But the Willmeister says, your name puts that Christina Aguilera song in my head. Thanks for that. Oh, new fan from Kylie. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love Kylie. She's amazing. Yes, every time I will get it stuck in my head too. She'll be like, what a ghoul wants, what a ghoul needs. I would love to do like a custom theme song replacing Girl with Ghoul, but I feel like I would probably get a cease and desist from Christina Aguilera or something. But yeah, thank you, Gavin, for joining. Great first stream. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Oh, Shaim, you're so sweet. Yes, thank you to those who chatted. Thank you, even if you're just watching. Thank you so much. And I will definitely do another stream relatively soon, maybe the week after. So Easter's this Sunday, maybe next Sunday I'll try to do one. I'll have to see, but I will keep everybody posted in my community chat and everything. And so keep an eye out for that. Let me know. I'll probably do a poll on if we do a movie watch along live. I will put a poll for what movie, although I'm leaning towards Halloween 5 because I still haven't seen that one. But look out for the poll as well. Nessa, thank you. You're really natural and I love chatting. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. It is hard when you're on live and you feel like you're like, I'm talking to people, but I'm looking at my phone. So, but you guys have been amazing in the chat. So thank you so much. Jada, thank you. Had to leave for a while. No problem at all. Yes. So thank you guys so much. I will see you all later. Thank you, Pig Boss. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, there's Puka. My husband's home. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you later. Bye. Puka, no.